And now let's discuss ways to face criticism and grow strong. When we are analyzing this human relation principles, in card number one, principle number one, it is said, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Now, many a time you say we should not criticize, condemn, or complain, but people are criticizing. What do we do about that? For that also we have a solution. It says ways to face criticism and grow strong. Principle 1 says, remember that unjust criticism is often a disguised compliment. Between the criticizer and the criticized, the person who's criticized knows best whether a criticism is just or unjust. Now, if the criticism is just, you have no problem because you already analyzed a principle which says when you're wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. You admit the mistake. Now, what about when it is unjust? Now, unjust criticism has got two sources. One is the criticizer is wrongly informed, or the criticizer is jealous of you. If the criticizer is wrongly informed, give the right information. The problem is solved. Now, what about when the criticizer is jealous of you? Now, let me ask you a question. When do people feel jealous of you? When you're succeeding or when you're failing? When you're succeeding, isn't it? So, therefore, when people are criticizing, it's a disguised compliment. Nobody ever throws stones on a tree which has got no fruit, and nobody ever kicks a dead dog. So, therefore, if a person is jealous of you, that means it's a disguised compliment, it's a backhanded compliment. So, here we found unjust criticism is no problem, just criticism is no problem. So, what's the problem? So, therefore, unjust criticism is often a disguised compliment. The next principle says do the very best you can. Whether the criticism is just or unjust, it is our prerogative to do the very best we can because that alone is in our hands. We in MILT say do the very best you can and a little more because doing the best is to do justice to our own potential. It's not about competing with other person, it's about our own self. So therefore, let's do the very best we can and a little more. And this is a way to tap into our potential, to maximize our potential, and to excel in life. The next principle says, analyze your own mistakes before criticizing yourself. Analyze your own mistakes and criticize yourself. That means when you have done something wrong, you introspect, analyze it, criticize yourself, and then redeem yourself. So, therefore, never ever activate your defense mechanism. Instead, be observant of your words and action. The next principle says, learn to relax at your work. Here, relax at your work means enjoy what you're doing. Because when you're enjoying, you are relaxing. Very rightly said, make your work a play. Because play is what you love to do and work is what you have to do. So let your profession be a passion. And if that being the case, you never work a single day in your life because every moment it's enjoyment. So therefore, learn to relax at your work, enjoy what you're working at is very, very important. The next principle says, apply the following 4 good habits. Principle 1 says, clear your desk of all papers except those relating to the immediate problem at hand. Now, in your table when you're working, there should be only those paper, files or book which is needed at that point in time. Because in your visual range, only those papers that is needed for that moment should be there. Thereby, you'll be effective in your work. So therefore, clear your desk of all papers except those relating to the immediate problem at hand. And this is what is work ethics and makes you to become very effective. The next principle says, do things in order of their importance and not in order of your likes and dislikes. Now we have our own liking towards certain things and we be tempted to do those things we like and thereby neglecting those things which needs to be done. So therefore this creates a imbalance in work. So here we say, do things in order of their importance and not in order of their likes and dislikes. The next principle says, when you have a problem, solve it then and there if you have the necessary facts to make a decision. Here we discuss this very beautifully In the previous set of cards, we said get all the facts, weigh all the facts, and then come to a decision. Once a decision is reached, act. So, therefore, doing this, you're going to become stronger and develop strong work ethics. And the next principle says learn to organize, deputize, and supervise. Now, this is a game of management. Organize means getting things done in place, getting them in order, and then deputize. Put the competent people on the job who can execute it, and then supervise. And the moment you do that, you're certainly becoming stronger. The next principle says put enthusiasm into your work. We say put enthusiasm into your life itself. Every minute of your work time, of your wake time, should be a high level of enthusiasm. So, therefore, full of energy. Enthusiasm is taken from two Greek words, entheos, meaning in God. When you're in a noble profession, when you're executing a divine work, which is selfless, certainly that is going to give you the energy from within. So, put enthusiasm into your work. The last principle says don't worry about insomnia. Insomnia is sleeplessness. The very thought of insomnia is the root cause of insomnia. So when you're going to bed, if you're not getting sleep, just relax yourself. But instead, if you're worrying, why am I not getting sleep? This thought is not healthy. So it's best to get up and do all the things that is left to be done and then go back to bed when you're tired. So here, let's say, if you lived the previous principle of putting enthusiasm into your work, you're full of life in the wake time, and when the time comes to sleep, you're going to hit the bed and you're going to have a good sleep. So therefore, put enthusiasm and don't worry about insomnia. If we can follow these principles, we certainly can face criticism and grow stronger and really tap into the potential that is inherent within each one of us.